Hey everybody, Gary here with the Ambivalent Retiree. I want to talk about something today, and it's a comment that I hear that, it just makes my head explode sometime. And that's when I get somebody, example, I was going through the warehouse the other day, and a young employee, a young man came up to me and said, Gary, why are you still working? Why aren't you retired by now? And he said, I won't be working by the time I'm 50. I'm going to retire way before that time. And, I just, God love him. If that's what you want to shoot for, that's great. I'm 64 and a half and I'm still working, and that's by choice, but I am getting close to, hanging it up here, and through the process of the input that you guys are giving me and the advice and hopefully just my thoughts on it, it's making it a little bit easier in the process for myself, and I hope it helps you out. Just the reality of it is, only 2%, like 2% of people end up retiring by 50 or before 50. And for those people, it's great. If that's their goal and they've, lived their life to accomplish that and they got to that, or, they started a company and they were able to sell it for a nice amount of money and not working longer was what they wanted to do, I think that's great. I think it's terrific. For most of us, it's not going to happen that way for most of us. The average person retires somewhere between 62 and 64 years old here in the United States. And, when you think about it, number one, a lot of things in life can happen, right? You have kids cost a lot of money to raise. The other thing can be an illness. For a lot of us at some point in our older adulthood, a lot of people end up having to take care of their parents, whether just help them or financially help them. It's just part of life sometimes. So that can impact our goals as well. Or, a job impact, a loss of a job, can impact and throw us off track. So, that's just the reality of it. And, another big thing though is retiring before 65 and where you can qualify for Medicare. When you look at what health insurance costs today, it is just outrageous. I've been on healthcare.gov multiple times. And, to get a nice package that you're not sacrificing with some massive deductible, you're talking $1,400 a month per person, $1,300, $1,600, depending upon what you do with that. And your income. And once you stop working, it all impacts it. And that's just a lot of money. We talked about budgeting, and living on a budget or watching how we retire and watching our dollars through that point. And you got to make sure you're plugging that in, because you're talking about, if you retire at 50, that's 15 years of paying for health insurance. And let's just say it's $1,200, $1,300 a month. You're talking about a large sum of money that you're not going to get back. And let's face it, I don't think you want to go into an early retirement without health insurance, because that could just be devastating with it. My point of it is, God love anybody, young people who are ready, have that mindset that, I'm just not going to be in the rat race, past 50. And I think that's great. My video today is, if any of you are watching, you just have to make sure you're planning properly and you're making the sacrifices now, because your time frame is cut so much shorter than waiting till 62, then only a few years of paying for your own health care. So you just want to make sure and know that the reality is very difficult to accomplish. Again, only 2% of the people ultimately get to that point. And even though I'm still working, I'm working at this point. Again, as I mentioned before, I still enjoy it, but I'm getting very close. I'm very close to pulling the trigger on the retirement side of it. But I say it in jest. I told the young man, I said at the warehouse, I said, "That's great. I hope you accomplish that." And because if that's your goal and that is the goal of your family, I hope you find that ability to do that. Let me know your thoughts on a really, really early retirement at around 50 and let me know in the comments if you did that and how that's worked out for you. Or do you think it's really even a possibility in today's world and the way things cost and the health care that you might need? So let me know what you did, what you plan on doing, or your thoughts in general. Again, if you think it's a reality in today's world to be able to retire at 50 years or earlier. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching it. Please subscribe and hit the bell. You'll get notifications on the new videos as they come out. But really, I just appreciate you watching the video, and please leave comments below. I'll respond to all of them. Thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next video.